What's up, everyone? Welcome to The Heroic Ethic. I'm your host, Liberty Bill. So, welcome to the first episode of my new channel. What the heck are we going to be talking about around here? Well, as you may have inferred from the name of the channel, we are going to be talking about heroism, both in a broad sense, such as how it is interpreted and expressed in our society and culture, and also in a more narrow sense, where I'm going to be talking about my personal philosophy, the heroic ethic. So I'm going to be starting things off with a 7-part series, starting with this video, which is just going to be an introduction to the philosophy. I'm going to talk about some of the basic concepts, and then we're going to follow it up with 6 videos where I dive deeper into the principles and strategies of the philosophy. And then we'll see how it goes from there. Full disclosure, this is something of a side project for me. I have a Dungeons & Dragons channel, which is my main gig. But the philosophy is important to me, and a couple of my supporters have been asking me to start a channel about it. So shout out to Jonathan Pritchard and Jordan Castles. Without you two, this channel wouldn't be happening. So thanks for the inspiration, and I hope you like it. So what is the heroic ethic? Well, it is my personal philosophy, and I want to mention straight away that I am not just rebranding the work of other people. I know that's a popular thing to do, but that's not really my style. The heroic ethic actually is a brand new philosophy that is unlike, well, that's saying a little bit too much. It's not the same as any other philosophy out there. I do, of course, come from a philosophical tradition, the libertarian tradition. So there are going to be concepts that are, similar. And especially the more you zoom out, most of my changes or advances come at that really minutia level of things where we're really talking about the deductive arguments and such. And once you zoom out, there are a lot of similarities. But that said, because I come from a different core perspective, I do have a few different perspectives on more macro things as well. So thanks for bearing with me. Let's get started. I've put a little diagram on the screen to give you a sense of how the heroic ethic is structured. It's built around 4 pillars: truth, justice, power, and benevolence. And there is an order to these. As you see, truth is the most important pillar from which all other things spring. If you are doing a serious intellectual inquiry, you have to address truth and epistemology before you can really go anywhere. So we do that. And from our examination of the pillar of truth, we emerge 3 principles, and then from each of the other 3 pillars emerges 1 strategy or simple rule. So the 3 principles, and I should first say that I differentiate between principles and strategies as follows. Principles are, in my mind, universal truths, akin to the Pythagorean theorem or the law of supply and demand. They are never not true. There are never any outliers. And these differ from strategies, which are more suggestions based on heuristics that are plotted out on a distribution where there are outliers. So the 3 principles that emerge from truth are, first, the maximization of liberty principle, from which we can infer the second principle, the self-ownership principle, from which we can infer the third principle, the principle of proportionality. So I am going to go more in depth into these principles in later videos in this series, so I'm not going to present any of my argumentation here. Simply understand that that is the basis for which on which I build my philosophy. And then from those 3 principles, we emerge the 3 strategies or the 3 simple rules. From the pillar of justice, we emerge the non-aggression strategy. From the pillar of power, we emerge the personal actualization strategy. And from the pillar of benevolence, we emerge the Pareto optimization strategy. So each of these 3 strategies map to 3 simple rules. The first simple rule is, don't throw the first punch. Second simple rule, stronger every day. And third simple rule, at least help people when it's easy. So once again, I have formal arguments. I'm pretty hardcore about this stuff and formulations for these strategies and principles. But I also understand that most people aren't philosophical geeks like myself and aren't necessarily concerned with the minutia of the arguments and the proofs and such. So I've structured the philosophy to be accessible. If you can sign off on the 3 simple rules of simply never throwing the first punch, getting stronger every day, and at least helping people when it's easy, you're a hero in my book, and I will always have your back. And if you can't follow these 3 simple rules, well, we're going to have a problem. And I might even need to try and stop you in some way, depending on the scenario. So this is serious stuff. But I think the 3 simple rules are pretty intuitive. I think that most people aren't going to argue with them too much. And for the people that do like to argue, this channel is all about that. I love the dialectic, and I love intellectually honest arguments, between 2 well-meaning and charitable individuals. And I hope to see a lot of that on my channel. But if you don't want to get into the nitty-gritty about all that stuff, that's not all what this channel is going to be about. We are going to be approaching it from a more everyman perspective. And so the 3 simple rules are really all you need to think about, all you need to implement in your life, and I'll call you a hero. So thanks so much for watching. I've probably babbled on a little bit too long for an introductory video, but stand by for the next 6 videos where I'm going to be devoting a video each to each of the 3 principles. Again, the maximization of liberty principle, the self-ownership principle, and the principle of proportionality. And then 3 videos on the 3 simple rules, or the 3 strategies: the non-aggression strategy, or don't throw the first punch, the personal actualization strategy, or stronger every day, and the Pareto optimization strategy, or at least help people when it's easy. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. This has been The Heroic Ethic. I'm your host, Liberty Bill. I will see you next time.